Hi there, students. To burst into. This is definitely a phrasal verb. So to burst, firstly an irregular verb, burst, burst, burst. To burst, to get so big that something bursts. Okay, to burst into something, to start producing something very suddenly and with a great deal of energy, a great deal of strength. So I was so happy that I burst into song. I suddenly started singing with great energy. The petrol burst into flames. It started burning with flames, to burst into flames. The audience burst into spontaneous applause. It's like an explosion. He burst into raucous laughter. Okay, so to start laughing very suddenly. To burst into tears. I was so upset that I burst into tears. To burst into flames, to burst into laughter, to burst into applause, to burst into song, to burst into flames. Okay, this is one of the meanings. Also, we can use to burst into, meaning to enter a place suddenly without warning. So the police burst into the room which we were sitting in. The children burst into the room where we were sitting. Notice, to burst in intransitive. The children burst in intransitive, no object. The children burst into the room. Okay, the room is where the children burst in, and that is transitive. So to burst into a place, burst into it. So notice, this is an inseparable phrasal verb, but into is one word. So the soldiers burst into the room. The door flew open and men burst into the room. The teacher burst into the room and was very angry with us. To burst into flames, to burst into song. Okay, to burst into tears, to start crying. So either to force entry into some place, or to erupt suddenly into a particular state or activity. That's another one I hadn't thought of. A plant can burst into flower, to burst into blossom. In spring, all of the cherry trees in Japan burst into flower. They open suddenly. But yes, they start doing it with great strength, to break out into sudden activity. Yeah, so flames burst, the wood burst into flames. Okay, so to burst into, to explode into, to start doing something very, very suddenly and strongly. We all burst into song because we were happy. Okay, I guess to burst in on somebody. Yes, you could, but I was with my girlfriend when I was in the bedroom with my girlfriend when my wife burst in on us. Enter a place suddenly and forcefully. Okay, so to burst into a room, to burst in on people, you burst into the place and get angry or something like that. So to suddenly start doing, to suddenly start producing. They burst into cheers. He burst into laughter. Okay, so you suddenly begin to cry, you suddenly begin to laugh, you suddenly begin to sing. Okay, plants burst into leaf, they burst into flower, they suddenly open. You could burst into a situation, into a state. The engine burst into life, to burst into a place. Okay, so it's got the burst has got the idea of explode. To burst into formality, I'm going to give it a 4 in formality. Using an informal conversation, semi-formal conversation, yes, semi-formal writing, just about. Yeah, burst into tears. Yeah, semi-formal writing as well, but don't use it formally. And then this comes clearly from the word burst, to burst, which comes from Proto-Germanic brestana, to burst or to break, Proto-Indo-European brest, to burst or to break. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Burst in, burst into, burst in on.